Next, I'd like to introduce my neighbor, Jim Gilbertson, from Malala area. Jim is and I both are part of a new affiliate of Thousand Friends of Oregon called Friends of Clackamas County. And Jim is also, as you can see by his button, an LNG opponent. He expressed interest in chatting with us, and he's another person that will hopefully be able to entice with greener pastures. Jim Gilbertson.
Thanks, Jim. Sorry, pardon my voice. I've been talking way too much. I had a cold. It's great to be here. I was sitting there thinking about how far back in my own personal life the kind of fights that you guys are talking about have gone on. I mean, back in the, I'm old enough, of course, to have been active during the Vietnam War era, and was totally opposed to that, and was, of course, very angry at the then Democratic administration, and found myself in demonstrations and other things which I can tell you about personally. Nothing to tell about publicly, so I see the video cameras there. But I want to mention that I really am, in a group like this, I feel very much at home. I'm very green, literally as well as figuratively. I have a nursery business between Malala and Canby, One Green World. We're the only salmon-safe certified nursery in Oregon. We do a lot of really good things. We have a part-time sustainability director that works with us. I use biodiesel in all of my vehicles. We reduce energy, we drip irrigation. We do all sorts of good farming stuff. This weekend there's a garden show in Portland. Tomorrow, my voice will out. I'll be giving a talk on unusual fruiting plants at 12:30. Our garden patio show, so anybody who's interested, I bought some catalogs because this is gardening time, and it's one of the reasons Oregon is such a wonderful state. I yesterday filed my papers to be a candidate for state representative in the rural district that I live in. The day before, I announced publicly that it was the 149th birthday of Oregon. We had a birthday cake both in Malala and Silverton. This is the district where I live. And what I talked about then are what I consider to be Oregon values. And my race and my candidacy is very local. As a lot of you folks I know, and I don't even try to think about national stuff because I get very angry and it just distracts me from my goal, which is to win this local race and to try to move our state in a different direction. But I thought about the three kind of values that I think about as an Oregonian, and one is independence. The Oregon State motto is "She flies with her own wings," and we've been just blessed by some leaders that have helped us over the years. I someday want to figure out a way to honor a governor in 1913, Oswald West, who declared that our highways were our beaches were public highways. That's allowed us to be so different than many other states, many other places where we can actually have access to those beaches for our lifetimes, for our grandchildren and generations to come. I mean, that's really big to me. And then Tom McCall, he and many other great legislative leaders led us to a bottle bill, to a really innovative system of land use planning. And now we are working toward energy independence, which is what I think is really important. I've been doing this, practicing this myself, and I want this movement to continue. I want us to have much more solar and wind energy and biodiesel, and leaving out ethanol for reasons that many of you may know. But biodiesel to me is a very viable fuel, and I'm very distressed that we don't have more diesel-powered vehicles in our country. But that's Oregon independence. We've always been known for independent thinking, the Oregon pioneers. And then fairness. And to me, fairness brings up issues like our children. To me, I want to see it in Oregon as a fair state when a parent does not have to decide between getting health care for their kids and putting food on the table. And that's just, to me, basic fairness. Fairness is of course, we've been fighting discrimination, fighting for equality, fighting for justice for all Oregon citizens. I fought really hard for Measure 49. And many of you know about that issue. It's one of the biggest ones that we've had to deal with in our state. I mean, last year, I wanted to have a year off because I ran for this office the year before. And I said, I can't go to sleep without doing what I can do to stop this terrible Measure 37, which was going to destroy the farmland that surrounds me. And in Oregon, it was like the worst thing. It was going 180 degrees back from what we've done for all these years, and I was so pleased to have that pass. It was huge. And we need to continue that fight because Oregon is this wonderful place of a vibrant agricultural community, of people growing their own food, of local production of food, which is so important. So that's a huge priority of mine. And opportunity. Opportunity is another really big issue. I mean, my ancestors came here over 150 years ago because the state drew them for its fertile soils and for the opportunity to build a new society. And that kind of opportunity is for our kids to have a good education, which provides opportunity for businesses to expand, good employees. So really, really important stuff. And I heard just a moment ago talking about some of the old political things, and while I'm running as a Democrat, it's sort of a pragmatic decision because it's pretty hard to run as an independent in this country, in this state. But I think one of the really big differences between me and a lot of the Democratic Party stuff is I see a really cynical approach to politics in both political parties, which is this huge amount of money that comes in from corporations and special interest groups, and it destroys our confidence and our belief that our government is honest. When somebody gets $5,000 or $10,000, like my opponent from Northwest Natural Gas, who's going to believe when he votes, against an LNG or for an LNG terminal or for these pipelines, or doesn't speak out against it? And this is just so typical of what's going on. So I personally am not taking any money from out-of-state corporations. And my candidacy is totally dependent upon individuals. And of course, I have contribution envelopes with me, which I would love to have your support. Good. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Jim. And I'll keep Jim well informed of IRV bills and fusion bills that for the legislature.
Yeah, that's right.
Jim, your congressional district that you're running in and your website.
It's House District 18, and my website is www.gilbertsonoregon.com.